Hello, guys. Welcome back to the fourth episode. Today, I want to introduce you guys to the socializing aspects of the game, and sort of what you can do to interact with the other characters in the game, and sort of start to make a bit of friends. I feel that the previous episodes, I was just introducing the mechanics of the game and sort of what you're trying to look to do in the game, but I feel that aspect of the game is probably a little bit boring. So today I'm just gonna socialize and sort of maybe progress a little bit into the story. So we've already made the first breakthrough, right? We're now we're now because of our rap, we've made it into the second level. So perhaps it's a good time, a good opportunity for me to sort of describe the various levels, right? So the first level is called 练气. So 静 is sort of like the level, the word that we use to translate as level, but it's more like a place, right? So it's a place where you are at in terms of your training or progress. So 练气 means sort of your sort of training or practicing or improving your qi, which is sort of your energy, right? Your breath or your sort of potential. And in sort of if you ever seen Naruto, this is sort of like your chakra, right? So this is the place you're at, right? So in the first stage, you're at a place where you are training your chakra or qi, and so this word place would be more like a topos, right? So or just sort of your where you're at. And the second stage is 筑基境, which is building a foundation. So you're basically building a foundation for sort of the eventual ascent, right? So let me do a brief translation or rough translation of all the different stages. So crystallization, so building a foundation. So you can see there's a notable improvement in terms of your chakra or qi. And the third stage is crystallization. You're basically harnessing it to become a crystal, but eventually it will unlock as you go further into the different stages. So now we're in the stage where we're building a foundation, and the next stage is crystallization, and then the next stage is golden pill or golden is it sort of a Buddhist or Taoist idea, and then 聚灵境, which is and then 元婴境, and then 化身. So I don't know exactly how to translate these things. So where 聚灵 maybe is sort of like a particular or concrete spirit. So this stage, so after crystallization, you're making yourself or making out of yourself or your capacities a sort of a golden pill, and after that you're particularizing or making concrete your spirit, right? And then 元婴 is sort of like going back to sort of your birth, right? Ying is sort of like a child. So 元婴 is probably like the primal child or primitive child. So you're going back to sort of like a state where you are more like a child of nature, or sort of nakedly embracing nature, that sort of thing, right? And 化身 is you're transforming into a deity or god, and 悟道 is sort of you've sort of developed or attained great insight into the Tao, which is sort of the secrets of the cosmos. And after that is 羽化, which is sort of where you sort of develop wings, or if you guys ever read Plato, this is a theme that can be found in sort of Indo-European civilizations as well, where your soul or your body, both sort of yourself, right, both physically and spiritually, develop wings, which allow you to sort of to soar in the skies, right? And then the final stage is 登仙, which is sort of you just become a sage or a deity of sorts, right? So if you want to know what this means, right? So this says 阴阳之气凝机台，化成精阵心眼开，如今方识道种贵，何必 重纳成与败 or 重纳成与败. So basically, in this, so that's the third stage, and so the first stage is 浑元一气练丹田. So you're basically training your basic physical abilities, right? And second stage 根基已固. So you've already developed a foundation. So it's sort of like a lyrical way of sort of describing where you are at, right? So for each stage there is something like this. It's pretty cool. And when you develop into the second stage, it's called 逆天改命, which is sort of like a fundamental or aberration or alteration of the heavens or your fate, right? Whenever you overcome a previous bottleneck or limitation or stage or place, you enter another place in your training, and you are basically able to alter your fate. And the first sort of alteration of our fate that we attained was rapid metabolism, right? So so these breakthroughs are kind of meme like, right? So just get a sense of that. So now we're trying to develop into the third stage, and it is you can only do so by creating a pill, one of these 6 pills. The better, so 6 sort of there's a sort of gradient of the quality of the different pills, and you obviously want to use the highest grade, and this will allow us to sort of ascend with the greatest ease. And you need to have 4 of the 8 possible ingredients for this transformation, and these are obtained by going to the dungeons that we've already done, or similar to the ones that we have already done in the first in going to the second stage. And you will clear a dungeon and sort of obtain these items if you defeat these dungeons. So there's 3 dungeons, and the red item can be obtained when the sort of the monster appears on the map, and he hasn't appeared yet. It will be sort of like a pig-like creature, which you will have to defeat. So this is our first region of the map, and this is the second region, and we will eventually venture to this region whenever we want to progress in the story. So now let me show you the social system, the more sort of chill or interesting aspect of the game. So you have many peers, all right? There's many schools on the map, and you're one of many, right? So if you look at the map, go outside of town, there's 31 people, and if you toggle over this, if you mouse over this number, it'll show the number of enemies, friends, and strangers, right? So I have 31 strangers in this town that you can sort of talk to, right? You can talk, you can check them out and sort of get a sense of who they are, their relations with others, their life story. Currently this system is still it looks pretty developed, but I suppose there's a lot more functions that could be opened. For instance, you could invite NPCs to go down to dungeons with you, or PvP or not PvP to fight with other characters together. Right now, currently the game is only one-on-one. The game could become far more dynamic and far more complex if if you can fight multiple NPCs or eventually fight other players. So you can talk with strangers, and when you chat with them, you will become friends with them, or become friendlier with them, and know each other better. Usually the conversation is just some sort of random topic, right? So you can talk about your mutual friends, you can talk about your own friends, you can talk about your position, your own point of view. This is not always, it does this, when you talk about your own point of view, it might not always work, because the person that you're talking to might have different characters than you, right? So you can look them up. It shows that this person is more evil than good, and as I remember, our character is very sort of righteous, more righteous than sort of devious or sort of aberrant. So we can just chat with her, and once you've chatted with the person to an extent where you've developed a full heart with that person, you can then sort of 双修, which has a fairly erotic connotation, right? You guys are training together, and you can see when you do that, the person can consider it, and you guys get to sort of train together, right? Whatever that means, right? So and to do this, it takes 10 days. So you're basically spending 10 days with the person, right? So you know, a lot of different things can happen in 10 days, and by doing this, you get sort of actual sort of Dao points, which you can transform and equip, which will grant you additional passive or sort of bonus attributes, right? For instance, this one that I acquired earlier in the game gives me 3 bonus attack, and as you sort of master this passive ability over time, it'll give you extra bonuses that you can also reroll, right? So that's something to look for. And other than training with others, you can also develop these points, acquire these points that you can transform or convert into Dao points for these passive abilities by fighting, you know, monsters, bosses, random sort of enemies on the map. So, you know, we're gonna go ahead and train ourselves with this person. I'm just wanted to show you, you know, the extent to which we can socialize with other characters, right? So it does take 10 days to do this. So, you know, it's a fairly quick way, easy way to, you know, spend time on the map if you're waiting for a boss to spawn or something like that, right? So, you know, people are coming, chatting. This person wants to fight with us. She knows us a little bit. You know, if you want to, sure. And you can, you know, sort of check out our stage, right? And because we've already overcame the first sort of stage, we're on this in the second stage, or the construction stage. If I would, you know, if it were up to me to offer a translation of sort of 筑基 stage, would be sort of I would call it the grounding, right? I would call it, or the foundational stage, or grounding sounds pretty cool. Or groundwork stage, the stage of, you know, laying your groundwork. You know, if the I don't know what the game creators want, right? If they wanted something like Celtic, it could be like German, right? Or Germanic, it could be a German word. You know, this is obviously their own choice, own decision. But there's many ways that you can get around the difficulties in, or, you know, the meanings that are sort of difficult to translate into English, right? So now we can sort of do a spar with her, and we can do this also. This is called 论道, which is a conversation or sort of talk nonsense, right? Just chat with the person. And this system is based on sort of the person's qualities, right? So this person is evil, evil and sect related, right? So both actually have both of these attributes as well, or personalities. So his evil does whatever she likes and doesn't really ever consider what other people think, but she's also she also emphasizes sort of the legacy and the school or the tradition that she's a part of, right? So now we want to chat, and she accepts because, you know, it actually doesn't require much sort of familiarity or closeness with that person in order to unlock this feature. So if there is one day the sect or school needs you to sacrifice yourself in order to be saved or rescued, what would you do? So this person, although she's selfish, she's still sort of sect or school oriented. So I'm gonna say protect the school, right? And then if there's a day your master causes great troubles or ills in the world, but he has you know, bequeathed you many sort of favors, or you owe the sort of master a lot, would you kill your master who's doing harm, or help him to do harm? So I'm gonna go with the master because that's what the person would probably prefer. If you see somebody's bathing in in a mountainous or in the springs, right, or in the mountains, what would you do, right? I would, oh shit, I would sneak. I would look at the person, thinking that this person would do the same, but apparently maybe she didn't like that, right? So that's a fun thing that you could do if, of course, this is sort of related to the language. So you might not be able to access this feature. So if you want to sort of practice or train with the person without one heart, they will sort of reject you. Although this does not cost you any, it does not set you back in terms of your relationship with that person. So, for instance, she rejects us again, right? So we talked to her, we got a little bit more favor or familiarity or closeness, friendship, and I'm just not gonna spend time or waste time doing this. So another thing that you could do once you've become so familiar with the person is that you could actually go to this one, the second one, which is make that person or ask that person to adopt you, or ask that person to be your adoptee, right? So if it's a girl, right, you could have them as your mother, or have them as your daughter if they're 20 years younger than you or 20 years older than you, right? And if you like the person, if you like whatever they are, and you think that you will, the person will be a good partner of yours in the story or in your sort of path towards sagehood, you could ask the person to become your Daoli, which is a partner in the Tao, right? A partner in the way, or a partner in the path that you in this journey, right? So it has a esoteric connotation or a religious connotation as well as a romantic connotation, right? So you can ask that person to be your Daoli, and you could have many Daolis, right? You could have, I don't know what's the maximum amount. I've seen people with like 12 of these, but you could only have one wife, right? So it's not polygamy, right? It's a monogamous sort of situation. So if you need to be the person's Daoli first before you could marry them, and after you've become married, your chat does become sort of more intimate, and the person will come and visit you, do all sorts of nice things for you. And if the person is a loyal, or if you have the attribute where all of your partners, or where one of your partners will be extremely loyal, that person will probably be sort of very low maintenance and will not cheat on you or leave you for somebody else, right? So so that's another dynamic in the game that you might want to look out for. So aside from talking to the person, you can also mark the person, which uses your willpower. And after you've marked the person, you see the person requires 50 willpower to mark, and right now I have 197 willpower points, and that's taking up 50 of my points. And after you do this, you can actually find the person. If you press M, you can actually see the person in this tab, and if you put your mouse over the tab, you'll see that wherever the person is will light up on the map. So that's a good way for you to locate your friends or partners or sort of people or even enemies, right? People you really want to kill or mess with. With other than the male and female or opposite sex relations, you could actually also have them as your master or pupil. So you could actually have someone as your master and your pupil. I haven't really went deeper into this system. I could probably offer sort of unique perks or such scenarios in the game for you if you unlock these features. Again, in order to do this, you guys might you need probably like 3-4 hearts in order to unlock those features. So aside from those things, you could also ask that person to give you the stuff that's in their inventory, and the extent to which you can see their inventory is based on your willpower, and I think your familiarity, your familiarity with the person. For instance, if we talk to this person, we might have one heart with them, and okay, we didn't actually see their inventory. So, you might be able to see their inventory if you train with them. So for instance, okay, this person is one heart with us, and we've already been able to unlock. Perhaps it's based on their level. Well, these two are the same level, but we can see one but not the other. So we can see a bit of this person's. So I guess it's based on your willpower and the other person's willpower, or something like that, right? So 159. Okay, I don't know. I actually don't know. I'm talking trash. I'm talking nonsense. So there's a lot of different characters with different features. All of them look pretty good, right? Like, the game has that sort of RPG aesthetic. So this is something that you could do, sort of just waste time, progress in terms of the socials. I find that this system is less sophisticated than something like Stardew Valley, but more sophisticated than most RPGs or MMORPGs that you can play. All right, if you want to make friends in the game, this is a great way to do this, right? So people will also randomly come up to you and talk to you if they want to, right? So now, actually, the boss actually randomly appeared as I was talking about the social system, right? And going through the different sort of times, refreshing the map. So this is the boss. So we can't actually see. Okay, we can see. So the boss is here. After defeating this boss, we will get one of the items that we need in order to go to the next sort of level, right? So this is the item. And the other sort of the dungeons that you find, or you need to find in order to obtain the other items, are the dungeons that you can find also on the map just by exploring the map. It will be usually in this region. These are the dungeons that we needed to fight in order to progress through, in order to attain the second level. And this one, it will be similar, but one of them is Tongling, which is sort of communication or communicating with the spirits, and this one is Xuanling, which is sort of more metaphysical than the previous one, right? So these are the sort of dungeons that you need to fight or defeat in order to obtain the items that you need, right? So I've located one of them. So there's another one inside the second region, and there is another one somewhere around, right? So in order to uncover or discover where they are, you could go to the bar and talk to the person in the bar and ask them where they are. And this person tells us one of them is within the second region, which is called Leize, which is sort of like a swamp, a thunderous swamp. And one is southeast from this location and east of this location, right? So if we want to look at it, we just find the place in the map, and it says east of this place. So chances are it's in the part of the map that we haven't discovered, right? We haven't unveiled, and so we just travel to it. It should be just around here, and this takes 1,000 currency to do. So it's right here, right? So it's one of these dungeons. It'll ask you to sort of inject or 1,000 currency power. So it says Zhu Lingli, which is sort of inject the spiritual powers or the sort of spiritual powers of the currency, right? So you could do this. You could sort of escape and then make a save of the game. Right now, my character just obtained the second level, so there's some risk, right? I might not be able to defeat this boss, but since we're playing on the easiest difficulty, this should be doable, I think. We'll see. So I'm just in the dungeon, and see, it's right here. I'm now gonna clear the whole map. I'm just gonna clear the dungeon real quickly and get a sense of how give you a sense of how difficult this fight actually is. So it is definitely more difficult than the regular dungeons that you find in sort of close to the towns and the schools. So, just stabbing them with my sword. It is sort of single target and sort of weak. So we might want to, sort of load my save and just develop a bit more before we try to do this. Crap. Getting my ass kicked again. So, so you can't actually escape from the fights. So I'm gonna do this, and basically this forces you to waste 1,000 currency and basically get a very little rewards, right? So it's not worthwhile doing when you're still this weak. So I'm just gonna go outside and load up my save, right? So you should really just save before you try to do something. And after I load, I should come back out with my currency. That's good. So now that we've done that and sort of know that we can't do that, it is probably also true that we cannot defeat this boss, right? So it's a good idea then to go back to your school and spend some time, a few years, a few in-game years to sort of improve on your abilities, right? Where is it? Here. I think that's my school. So, you can go back here, check out how much sort of contribution points you have, and think about or look at different mantras and scriptures that are available. So this person, so the higher levels scriptures actually requires it that I'm further up in the ranking system. So I think I need to register myself to this sort of system, and then get sort of better mantras or books and scrolls in order to learn and sort of develop different abilities. So now I'm gonna pause do a video pause and come back when we've gathered some more points or contribution points for the school, and when the sort of rank up competition happens. So I'll see you in a bit. So welcome back. So I've been gathering a lot of doing sort of contributions, and it's been 3 months, and now the sort of internal competition within the school is about to happen. So this is a contest for ranking up within the school. So I guess I'll try to explain the different ranks later. Although for the typical Chinese, these are sort of very familiar concepts that one could find in sort of Chinese fiction and sort of dramas, the different kinds of dramas that one could see on TV. So, this should be no contest. This is only the second level. I think I failed to do this previously because I was too weak, but now this should be just very easy peasy. And after this, we will purchase some mantras or scriptures and try to overcome the various bottlenecks for the second stage, and just try to rank up, right, and progress in the story. So I wouldn't recommend, it's up to you, but you could decide whether or not you want to sort of socialize at the early stage of the game, with people, with characters, and become their Daolu or partners in the Dao, right? Dao partners, or you could wait wait for a bit and progress in the game first before you do that, right? That's completely up to you. So she's like, I will not go easy on you. I want to, rank up as well. Sure. But chances are, oh look, I crit. One lucky crit, and she's dunzo. All right, so this sort of end of the end of combat sort of page just tells you how much it took, amount of damage you took, and how much damage you did, and how much time you were hit. And right, so pretty straightforward. So now you've won all the different matches, and now you are ready to go. And I'm gonna register myself for the 3rd rank up, right? So it'll show you the different buildings that it will unlock. So right now everyone has access to all the same buildings, right? And this is sort of the list of requirements. You need 600 reputation to become a senior sort of master within the school. This is a master. This is a sort of true inheritor, sort of a true disciple, and this is sort of a within the door or inner disciple, or you could say inner circle disciple. This is sort of an outer circle disciple. So you're just trying to rank up, and I guess we'll come back after another 3 months. And because in order to progress within the game or purchase things that you purchase the mantras that the school offers for the 2nd stage, because different stages have different scriptures or books that are available to you, and in order to unlock the best books in blade or sword that the school offers to us, we need to be a true disciple, or a sort of true candidate, or sort of a candidate disciple for masterhood, or I don't know what it means, how to translate that, to become, to use an academic term, right, to become tenured, right, or something like that. So I'll see you in 3 months time. I'll just keep doing these quests, just clearing up monsters and sort of doing these fights. But because we're now an inner disciple, sort of the 2nd level disciple, we can purchase these items, which are passive abilities and the ultimate, right? But chances are we're saving for these ultimates, right? These are the best items that the school offers, which are restricted to the foundation building sort of stage. And not only do they offer the ultimates, they also offer some pretty cool passives for both wood, blade, and sword, as you see on the bottom here, on the bottom line. So we'll probably save up a bit of contribution points just to exchange these and learn these up in order to get prepared to sort of fight the different bosses that we need in order to progress in the game system, right? We need to gather these items and make this pill, which I will show you eventually, right? So it means I don't know if we'll get there in this episode, but we shall see. So I'll see you in 3 months time. So another thing I wanted to show you is how you could progress without fighting monsters or training with other people in the game. Is that within your school you could actually go to this this place called Julin Zhen, which is sort of like a formation that, or a arena that sort of captures the various spirits, where you can just train with your contribution points at the school, and it will take you a few days. So you could just do this, and then look at that. So we did that. It took us a bit of contribution points, and we're now bottlenecked, right? So whenever you overcome your bottleneck, the game does become significantly easier, right? So we need one of these pills called 洗髓丸, which is sort of like a way to wash up or clear your bone marrows or your marrows, right? So basically reform or transform your body in order to become prepared for the transformation, right? For the next stage. So basically you could just go to a town and go to the shop and purchase this pill. It's not sold in this town, which means it is sold in the major city, which is the larger blue icon. So you go to the shop at this major city, and voila, it's right here. So it's for 800 currency, fairly expensive, and to overcome the next bottleneck, it takes 1200 currency, so fairly expensive. I'm just gonna do both of them real quickly. I have a lot of contribution points at the school, and now we're poor, so we could, if you have anything that you could sell at the store, you can just now go ahead and sell those things. the best way to do this is to sell sort of the boss items that you could get from the Pokemon dungeons around the map, and usually those will give you a good amount of currency from that. So now just to show you breaking the bottleneck, just like we did before, voila, and we're now we've now overcame our first bottleneck of the second stage, and we're now just training more and just getting prepared, right? So we're now go back to our school, spend a few days just to sort of spend some contribution points. So it'll take you a fair amount of time. The month is over. So this is sort of, if you within the from the point of view, or in the context of Chinese sort of literature or fiction, you could say that this is the duration or the point of the time in which you're sort of training at the school and just becoming prepared for the ultimate challenge, right? Or the final challenge. Or you could say that this is sort of like Kill Bill, when the protagonist of Kill Bill is sort of the protagonist of the Kill Bill, the lady when she was training with the white the man, right? So it takes 2 years or 2 to 3 years to do this, and now you've overcame your sort of limitations, and now you are ready for more training and the ascension into the crystallization, or the third stage of the game. So I'll see you in a few months when the competition takes place again. For the time being, I will just be clearing up the monsters. I already have one of these quests. I already have that quest. So I'm just gonna go around and do these quests. Maybe I have this one already. Yeah. So basically, I'll show you where to go, and I'll do that for now, and then I'll see you when the competition starts. So welcome back. The promotional contest or competition will start, and we're now trying to get to the third stage, or third rank, which is the true disciple, or true disciple. So she also wants to become a true disciple. Who doesn't want that promotion, right? So we're all fighting for that promotion, but clearly I've been doing my homework, and I have become a lot more stronger than they are, and this whole process should be fairly easy. So so 2 more rounds. Her name is Su Yuqing. Jade. Qing would be sort of like a zither, or like just any instrument, right? Or musical instrument. So Miss Su and I are going to have a bout, and clearly she's a thunder or lightning user. Although our sword technique is fairly sort of low rank and low quality, it's more than enough for these little bouts. So we should get through this no problem. And so before your fights, you could look at the character. So we're fighting against Wu Pu. Pu is actually sort of just refers to any sort of location or land that is around or surrounded by water, or is by the water, right? So there's a little bit of dialogue. He will not go easy on you. Our name is Xing Su. This is just the name I've wrote. Xing is sort of like fortune. Su is sort of like either a place or a home or a abode, or sort of a sign or a constellation, or a destiny or a fate, right? So Wupu is sort of a little bit less strong, sort of lower than us in terms of his progression. So this should be no problem at all. We should have no problem kicking his ass, right? So to speak. So he's a knife user or a blade user, and this is his ultimate. We should try to avoid it as much as possible. So it takes less damage and does more damage during that process. We haven't gotten to our ultimate yet because we've been saving up for the expensive one at the school, right? So, but in order to unlock it, we have to go through another one of these processes or competitions or contests, and they're pretty fun to do as you farm or grind your way in the game. Now there we go. We've successfully became a third rank, so we got that promotion, a third ranking member. So you do get a salary from your school. You can obtain your salary from the sort of headquarters of your school, and just 4,000, very nice. So depending on your rank, you get different amounts. And so now we can apply to the next rank, which is a master, right? So it requires 400 reputation and accumulated 100 contributions to the school. So not much, right? So the game doesn't really require you to grind out that much if you don't want to, right? I just happen to want to buy the sort of mantras from here, right? Just to show you guys what they're like, and give you guys a sense of the variety of things that you can do with this game. Of course, you don't have to do whatever I do, right? So this is just to show you what is possible rather than what to do. So now that we've unlocked our third rank, we can actually go ahead and buy these awesome new spells or skills. So this is the right mouse button sort of special. This is the basic attack. This is sword oriented. It requires 30 sword talent, and we have 50. We've maxed our talents because I bought all the fruits in the store of the school. So I'm gonna go ahead and get this, and go ahead and get the ultimate from one of the special attack. I wonder if I should get the sword one or the knife one. The knife one is slightly better. It is also slightly more expensive, which makes me want to know, like, which means I should think about whether or not I want to get these passives, because you do unlock more passives in the game. So I think it is better to unlock the crystallization or the stage after that, the passives that are offered to the the golden pill sort of stage or the crystallization stage passives, because they will cost currency instead of contribution points, and these contribution points do take a fair bit of time to grind. So I'm going to get the ultimate or the ultimate ability from one of these, and I'm going to unlock one of these rather than unlocking the passives, because I just don't want to grind more contribution points, right? But of course, that's up to you, right? So you can look at what they're like. That's pretty cool, right? So that's the right mouse button. Different one. So this one is the flying swords. I think I'm gonna unlock this one, because I think this one will be handy in sort of fighting boss fights. This is the knife one, nothing new here, and another knife one, nothing new here. So they just have they can be sort of the similar spells or abilities, but they have different suffixes. So they will have different sort of attributes to them as you progress in terms of your mastery of the abilities, right? So I'm gonna go ahead and unlock this one, right? So I'm gonna go ahead and train these abilities. I've already registered myself for the next promotion, and I will now actually get rested, equip all the new abilities, and now go fight some of the dungeons that we need, or the boss that we need, in order to progress in the game. And I'll show you our new abilities in action there, and then we'll come back for the promotion whenever that is available. Because we only want to get these ultimate abilities to make our experience easier, or just to check them out and have fun with it. We don't actually have to promote again, which will unlock the sort of the passive abilities that are available from our school. So basically that's the plan. I'll see you at the dungeon. I'll sort of rest up and equip our new abilities and go to one of the dungeons and just show you guys what it's like. See you there. So I was trying to upgrade my abilities or equip them and learn them. I actually ran out of time, and we actually didn't get to do the dungeon. And now we're just at the promotional sort of contest for the rank of Zhanglao, or master, or leader, or elder, or senior, right? I think elder or master are probably the best translations for this title. So the first round we don't actually have an opponent, and we're now just waiting. And so as you progress or rank up in the school, the sort of opponents do sort of get stronger over time, right? But since we're already at sort of the highest sort of maturity or stage of the first two levels, we're actually almost as strong as the sort of the leader or the grandmaster of this school or sect. So basically the fights should be not difficult at all. So this person is around our level, and but her attack is a lot weaker than us, right? So, or maybe I should check, right? I think she's she should be weaker than us, and this is a good way for me to actually check out my abilities. So I actually didn't have the chance to try them out earlier. Okay, so we haven't equipped our new movement ability yet. So basically this is a stronger version of the previous ability, the previous sword ability, and it is fairly a bit, quite a bit stronger than the previous version of the same. So clearly we successfully went through that round, and she's like, oh, you're really strong, hopefully you become a elder, right? So or master. So final round, she actually has less health than the previous person, and she's only at the first sort of initial stage of the second maturity or second progression level, right? So this should be easier than the previous fight. And he is actually a wood user, or a leaf user, if you think about sort of Naruto and the village of the hidden leaf, right? So we successfully, became an elder of the school, and now we can actually acquire and use and learn the ultimate ability that is available to us through the school, right? That is actually quite exciting, right? So we earned 100 contribution points by winning the competition. Now we can decide whether or not we want to buy the sword one or the knife one. Both of these are equally, are equally good options. Are equally good options. So I'm just gonna get the sword one, and I'm gonna learn this and go to the dungeon and just show you guys what these new abilities are like. And I'll see you in a second. So we finally made it to the dungeon, and we have to inject 1,000 currency, and we're just gonna go ahead and show you guys the fight. So I actually don't have a lot of mana, so I'm just going to save my mana for the ultimate, which will cost 40 mana, and it will also require some amount of swords sort of passive accumulation. I don't know how exactly that will look, but we shall find out. So the sword attack is fairly inaccurate. It sort of is a fast sort of pistol sort of feel that's highly inaccurate, but it is fairly accurate at close ranges, right? Closer range. Maybe it will be easier for us to cast our ultimate ability if we had higher sort of masteries of our abilities, but right now we don't have, our masteries are pretty low, so it might not come out easily. So you do have to develop some sort of passive accumulations or stages of the particular element of the ultimate, right? So in order for you to be able to cast the ultimate. I still don't see any. I'm not getting any clues or cues. So I've developed one sword passive. So we need 2 in total in order to cast the ultimate. Perhaps the final boss fight will we will be able to see it come out in the final boss fight. So it does get more accurate at closer range, right? Yep. Okay. So it's still a challenge, even though you've maxed out, you know, all of your sort of abilities at this stage. So we still need 2 swords. Okay, so this monster's ability is not... You can't exactly dodge it, right? Unless you use your movement ability. And I'm trying to save my mana for the ultimate, so we shall see if this actually works. Huh. Oh. Missed him. Gonna see the little bugger following me. Okay, try to dodge these little yellow points. I haven't been trying to dodge them because I was trying to look for the sort of the sword passes for me to cast the ultimate. So those things do expire over time, which is quite nice. Okay, we probably want to pick them up as best as we could. Okay, heal up. Okay, see, our rapid metabolism is really helpful. It helps us to save the amount of medicine that we can use or pills that we can take in the fight. So it's this boss again. I don't know if we've seen one of these bosses in our videos, but I've definitely encountered him a number of times now, a fair amount of times now in the playthrough. Okay, caster mobility, ability. This doesn't actually give us a passive stacks that we need in order to cast the ultimate. Okay, take a pill, take a pill. You need to take a chill pill too. Ah, frig. So we still don't have the passive stacks. So it might be a mastery thing. It might be something that we need to unlock through the mastery. So the suffixes are in one of our abilities that have a greater chance of allowing us to develop those stacks. So let's just take a look and see how that actually works. So we've actually gathered most of the items that we need in order to make the ascension. So maybe just take a look, right? So this is bleed. This doesn't say. So okay, so this is actually okay. This is something that you can cast after you've cast the mobility item. So I have to show you guys the ultimate at a different at another time. So that's it for this episode. I'm just going to. In the next episode, I will show you guys what it's like to venture into the next region on the map and sort of show you guys our new abilities and the ascension into the crystallization, or the third sort of ascension that we can make into, and perhaps find a girl to train together a bit more and try to get married or something like that. Okay, although nothing serious because it's just a game. So I hope this has been enjoyable and helpful. If you guys wanted to, if you guys are trying to get a sense of what this game is actually like or is about, right? So I'll stay tuned. I'll post the next videos soon enough. All right, see you.